Welcome back, everyone, to Quarantine Out, episode number 4. The quarantine is pretty much over. It ended like June 4th, but we are in the yellow phase or yellow area, whatever they call it now, because we won't get political, but our governor sucks, and that's just what it is. So, got a little lag, of course, but we're here with Zach,
Yo,
and he's the only one. So
just me and Connor.
it's one-on-one. To be honest, the podcast is kind of losing its wheels, kind of. Everybody's kind of doing their own thing, and we failed a couple of times. So everybody was like, they weren't like, "Oh, I don't want to do it anymore." They just didn't feel like putting the effort into it.
In this very moment, we'll just say
Some
they're still very involved in it. They're just
things are out of place, and we're stepping on a bunch of Legos right now. But we're going to get this episode out real quick and put it out because me and Zach originally started this and we want to keep it going, of course. And it's fun to us. So we're going to keep it going. And, of course, we're going to try to keep it short like last episode. We're going to aim maybe like 45 at the most for this episode, so a lot shorter. Again, we don't have a lot to talk about because there's not a lot going on, but we do have some developments with the NHL. With coronavirus, of course, the NHL announced that players can start practicing in facilities, but only a certain amount of players can go into each facility if this will load because everything goes wrong at one time. That's just how it goes. So I can't scroll down on my computer right now. Okay, here we go. Because it was free. But the NHL has announced that players can start working out at league facilities on Monday, which is tomorrow. So starting Monday, teams can start. We're Flyers fans, so for the Flyers, they can start working out at the Flyers skate zone in Voorhees, New Jersey. It's different for every other team. But an article from NBC Sports, this is actually NBC Sports Boston, so this might be Boston biased. But it says, after a nearly 3-month pause of the 2019-20 NHL season due to the COVID-19 outbreak, the NHL announced on Wednesday night, which was like a week ago, that the league's practice facilities will be allowed to open for small groups of players to practice and work out off ice starting on Monday. It doesn't necessarily mean that every NHL team will be practicing in groups of up to 6 on June 8th. But that should begin a month-long progression towards NHL training camps starting sometime around July 10th. So, Zach, I want to ask you, what do you make of this?
fantastic. Finally, we're making some steps and then getting back into, well, at least the players getting back into their normal shapes before the unfortunate pause of the season. I feel like not every player is going to work out, considering the fact that a lot of them are still overseas in Europe or wherever they're from. But hopefully, a lot of the like the North Americans, the Canadians that stay in the country, some of the Europeans that decide to stay in the country, hopefully, they're continuously working out, getting their bodies back in shape, so we can get this season started again.
Yeah, and that's a good point, too, with players that are still overseas. I don't remember the exact article, but I did remember they said something about they were allowing players to come back into the United States.
Yeah, Trump's allowing them to come back to the United States. All they have to do is just take a test before they can actually physically.
Of course, it's going to be harder for teams that are in like Russia or players that are in Russia versus teams that are in like Canada or players that are in Canada. It'd be a lot easier for like Drew to come from Ottawa versus like Kucherov from Russia or wherever he's from Russia, right?
Yes, he's from Russia, but I'm pretty sure he stayed in warm Tampa, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really blame him.
But that's not all to this only group of 6 theory. There's a full statement from the NHL saying, subject to each club's satisfaction of action requirements, there's probably going to be a problem there because each club is probably going to have different requirements. Set out in Phase 2 protocol, clubs will be permitted to reopen their training facilities in their home city, as we just said, to allow players to participate in individualized training facilities off ice, on ice. Players will be participating on a voluntary basis. I could see this possibly being a problem because some players don't want to expose themselves to that. So that could be a problem. And I think somebody else just got corona. I don't know if that was hockey, but somebody got it.
I think a Penguin staff member got corona.
Players will be participating. Maximum of six players on the ice at one time. So that is plus a limited number of club staff.
By the way, your mic is kind of lagging out.
Oh, that's phenomenal. It's great. Is it like beep bop beep bop?
A little bit, yeah. Just let you know.
Like the whole time. You killed it. Like that the whole time.
I wasn't necessarily the whole time, but part of the time. Like when you're reading the statement, it was getting really, really bad.
Fine. I'll use my mic. $70 fucking mic that I fucking bought. It fucking sucks.
Oh, hopefully it'll start working again soon.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, so I'm just gonna edit that out. So there's a statement from the NHL that they released. Subject to each club's satisfaction of all the requirements set out in the Phase 2 protocol, clubs will be permitted to reopen their training facilities in their home city to allow players to participate in individualized training activities, as we pretty much just said. They will be participating on a voluntary basis, and it will be scheduled to small groups, a maximum of 6 players at any one time, plus a limited number of staff. The various measures set out in the Phase 2 protocol, which was released on Thursday, are intended to provide players with a safe, controlled environment in which to resume their conditioning. Phase 2 is not a substitute for training camp. All necessary preparations for Phase 2, including those that require player preparation, education, diagnostic testing, scheduling for medicals, etc., can begin immediately. The NHL and NHLPA continue to negotiate over an agreement over the resumption of play. So this basically says that players up to one line, because it's 6 players, can be on the ice at one time. It is voluntary, so there could be problems with players who may or may not want to expose themselves to that. But this is great news. Zach, how do you feel about this?
It's just steps, honestly.
Yeah.
It's very, very tiny steps.
At this point, it's just something.
Yeah, it's just little steps that the NHL is currently taking right now, hope to get everyone back into the way they were before all this unfortunately went down. Obviously, I feel like 6 people in the training facility at a time is probably sufficient, considering the fact that you have to be 6 feet away from each other. So, yeah. And I feel like as every week goes on, they'll add more and more and more people to the point where they'll allow every single player, every single staff member, coach, trainer, whatever in the facility at one time.
I'm not a scientist, but I said, how hard could it possibly be to just get everybody in, test everybody, they clear, they play, like they're on lockdown. And again, it's not like we're trying to make it political, but it's not that bad. Like a lot of the media makes it way worse than it ever is. Like, yes, people who have pre-existing conditions can get it. It is contagious. It's all around. But if you have healthy players and you put them in one area in like one town, you close it off and they can only go from like their apartment or like a rental to another, to the building that they're having it, they should be fine. And there was something about Blake Wheeler was like, there's not going to be any group celebrations. Like, no, there's going to be group celebrations. You're getting too crazy. Why wouldn't there be?
Blake Wheeler's thing is too extreme, honestly.
It is.
He honestly just needs to tone it down a little bit. Like, you're still allowed to have group celebrations.
Yeah,
you're
I don't think he would say anything about that. It was maybe just a spoof to like get views. He was like saying like, oh, there's not going to be any high fives or anything. And the bench, they were trying to work on something about spacing out the bench. You don't need to do all that.
You can't space out the bench.
Right.
It's hard. You're in a secluded area. There's no way that they're going to extend the benches.
Right.
Like, honestly, I don't think they really have enough room to extend the benches in some of the arenas. He honestly, Blake Wheeler just needs to chill the hell out with the situation and just take it day by day and stop freaking the hell out. Honestly, if you don't want to play, don't freaking play the rest of the season.
Yeah.
All right, you're a captain of a team. You're supposed to lead your team.
Yeah, but I think that's a good point too. Is since in this statement from the NHL, where it said players will be participating on a voluntary basis, a way that I would see that is you have everybody tested. They have to be tested no matter what. Or if they don't want to be tested, you're not playing. Simple as that. And if they do get tested and they clear, they have the option if they want to play or not. And then And then it's kind of like every team has that. So like the Flyers, let's say they got all the players on the roster tested, all of them cleared, but 5 of them don't want to play. So the NHL has to submit their roster to the NHL saying, okay, these guys aren't going to play. You know what I mean?
And you think about it, with the AHL canceling the season, there's a potential for some AHL players to be called up because I guarantee.
Are they allowed to do that for playoffs though?
Yes, they're allowed to call up
Shane's face.
players from the AHL. Oh, Shane's FaceTiming you?
Shane, do you want to get into this recording real quick?
Sure.
All right, I'll try to send you an invite.
Okay, wait, is it on Twitch?
No, we're not live streaming Twitch.
Well, I fell asleep, so.
Yeah, I know you fell asleep. You tired as shit, weren't you?
Yeah.
It's fucking tiring, dude. All right, I'm going to send you a thing if you want to join.
Is it Zoom or is it Twitch?
It's Zoom, but we're not live streaming. We're just doing a recording, so I'm going to edit it around.
Gotcha. All right, sounds good.
All right, what's your – fucker, don't hang – oh, here it is. I can just copy this.
Yeah, you just hung up.
Copy link. I'm going to Snapchat it to him.
We got Shane here.
Oh, fuck. I sent it to the group chat. Oh, bad. I mean, either works, but. All right. Once he joins, we'll add him back to meeting. Can I see who's waiting when we're in here? I fucking hate being poor. I hate having Burger King Wi-Fi. I hate living in Willow Grove. I hate being in fucking Pennsylvania. Hate that there's no fucking sports right now. I'm just upset.
Trust me, I try to go down south as much as I can.
Sharing this pause. Bring your shared. Oh, this? Okay, there we go. Participants. Okay. Can you see that on the screen that says participants?
No.
That's only for me then. Okay, so if he joins it, it'll say participants. So I'll have that there. Okay, so we can keep talking. If I see him pop up, I'll add him.
Are you going to keep this in or edit it out?
I'm editing this out. It's not going to be that big. And we can get into this other thing too.
Max
okay.
Kellerman.
Yeah. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay, so did I finish my statement about fuck it, I don't even know what we're talking about. All right. So basically that's how I feel about the voluntary aspect of having the players come back. If they want to get tested, they get tested, or they have to get tested. Players have to get tested no matter what. If they don't want to get tested, they don't play. Simple as that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that.
And then if they do get tested and they still don't want to play, they don't play. But either way, I think it's wise to have all the 31 teams submit their own roster of players who are participating. Because there's going to be players that don't want to expose themselves, and there's going to be players that might have it that aren't going to play.
And especially with the AHL canceling the season, I'm sure a lot of players are going to want to come up and actually physically play.
Easy. Just like that.
Make a name for themselves.
Yep.
So they can be on the roster next season.
Yep.
Oh, this is a good one, Connor. This
and
is a good one.
While we're at it, too, at the aspect of returning, I just want to bring this up in the podcast real quick before we completely switch gears. There was an article posted by an anonymous source. I'm not going to say that. Nobody really watches or listens to this, but I'll have some class. They post a lot of stuff like the media does about, oh, this happened for clickbait. And people click on it, and it's literally a tweet and then like 3 lines under it. And they blow it up, and they try to make it clickbait, and they try to make it huge news.
It's a cheap blog, pretty much.
They put up breaking, NHL not expected to start until September. So this blends into what we've been talking about of our return to play and what we just talked about. They said NHL not expected to start until September. Things got exciting this week when the NHL announced teams could start working out at their facilities, which is what we just said. This gave fans like you and me some hope that training camps were looking like they would start around July 10th, which is roughly a month away already, which is pretty scary. However, that doesn't seem realistic at the moment. Yeah, it does. According to Stu Cowan, whoever the hell that is, of the Montreal Gazette, which a newspaper, I'm assuming, in Canada, training camps likely won't start until August, and games won't be played until September at the earliest. Cowan adds the Stanley Cup will likely be awarded in November, and the 2021 season will start January 1st with the Winter Classic as the season opener. Do you think this is a more realistic plan for the NHL? Before you answer that, the tweet from Stu Cowan, again, we're not trying to discredit him. We're not trying to, like, make fun of him or anything, but we're just critiquing it. His tweet says, "My Stu on Sports Notebook from yesterday, including no ice in Brossard for Habs, 46 layoffs at the Athletic, including 2 in Montreal, Chris Cuthbert jumping on TSN Sportsnet, and remembering big John LeClaire with the Habs." So that was not even really a tweet. It was just a plug for his newspaper. So he says the Stanley Cup will likely not be awarded or won't be awarded until November of this year, which throws things months behind, even that they already are. And the 2021 season won't start until January 1st with the Winter Classic. Do you think that's anywhere realistic?
No, not at all. Because the NHL wants to try to end the season as quick as possible. And they obviously want to have like a lockup type of schedule for next season, maybe play like 50 to 60 games. So I feel like this tweet is very unrealistic.
If you were to put that at a percentage, what do you think the percent of that would even be? So let's say right now everything doesn't go according to plan. The 24-team thing that they have, yes, they're going to still do it, but their plans of getting the 6 players on the ice in the training facilities backfires. Do you think this is a realistic go-to?
There's always a chance, honestly. Like, you never know. It may spread to more people throughout the NHL to the point where they have to start in September. At that point, cancel the season.
Exactly.
Cancel the season.
That's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying with this clickbait or this source that I just brought up.
Why did your light just go out?
I don't know. I just lost like half power. That was weird. Did I just have like a freaking circuit break or something like that?
Is Darren okay?
I'm sure Darren's okay. I think I have too many things plugged in. I think my fan and my light just went off, but my computer's still charging? Yeah, my computer's still charging, so some of the things on the outlet are working, some aren't. All right, I'm just not going to touch anything. I'm just going to be in the dark. So, yeah, like we were saying, at that point, and if everything backfires, just cancel the season. If it backfires and it sets you back and you're in August, if you're in August and you still haven't started anything or playing anything, just cancel the season. If you're at this point, if a month from now comes and it's July 1st, ballpark, and you haven't said that you're going to start on this date, cancel the season.
Seriously, at this point,
at this point, you have 1 month to make up your mind. And I know it's tough, but in my opinion, you have 1 month, and by July 1st, that's when you said, or July 10th. If you don't have anything by that saying players are going to start at this date, just cancel it. It's sad. It's a waste of a season, but what can you do at this point?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's a waste of a season. It's just unexpected events occurred. Yeah, and it's very unfortunate that these events unexpectedly occurred, but
there's nothing you can really do about it.
No.
I'm trying to invite Shane to this, and it's not fucking. All right, so we got that talked about. I'm going to edit that out, but we got that. Come on, invite me.
Baby, waste your time with me in California. La, 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 la.
Okay, so the next thing we'll talk about is Kellerman.
This is another thing I bought because of TikTok. Look at this piggyback. Hello. Kind of slow, but...
Honestly, you just want to just like the Kellerman article. At least just get that out of the way, and maybe we'll do the awards.
Yeah.
Because like you at least want to wait till the awards come, like maybe have like an episode about that, like once all that starts coming around, because it might be a little too prematurely to talk about Andrew awards when the season has.
We'll talk about it's like who already won the awards.
Oh, we think it's our guarantee.
No, like who won the Hart and Rocket Richard, and then we'll just end.
Oh, not the Hart yet. We're talking about who won Rocket Richard.
Didn't Draisaitl win the Hart?
Oh, he won the Art Ross.
Oh, that's what I meant. La 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 la. Copy link. Yeah, this is a shit show, but the recording's easier because you can just edit it. Copy. Okay, send this to Shane. Shane will be good for this because he'll be like, you know what, Max Kellerman? Calm down.
Exactly. Dude, Max Kellerman and Stephen A. Smith are two of the worst people to ever take sports advice from. Because Stephen A. Smith makes it all about race. And, like, it's really annoying to, like, talk about how it is. Don't just, like, your opinion matters, everything. Can you also edit this out?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, I don't want anyone to hear that I brought up race or they'll have a fucking panic attack.
I didn't even mean that. God damn it. Casa's fishing right now. The fucking.
Hey guys, I just handed in my lanyard and we're officially freed from the shackles of Upper Moreland. We're gonna be here on Monday now.
I don't know who the fuck that is, but
My neighbor.
Kaylee.
Kaylee's not my neighbor.
Dude, her butt looked great yesterday. I gotta admit, her butt looked really good yesterday.
She looks muscular for some reason.
Yeah, because that's all she ever does is just lift. Not lift and, like, make sure her body is nice.
Okay, maybe I can't invite somebody once I already started this.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just going to have them on FaceTime. Fuck this. I'm not trying to go this hard.
This is going to be a lot of editing to do.
Yo, so I think it's because I already started the recording, but I'm not trying to stop it. So do you just want to talk on this? We're only going to be talking for like 10 more minutes.
Sure.
I bet. Zach, you can hear me,
Yeah,
right?
let me grab headphones.
Yeah, I can hear him. I don't know if he can hear me.
You can't.
Yeah, I don't think he can.
Okay, so with that being said, we're moving into the latter half of the podcast. We have Shane joining us. He wasn't in the beginning of the podcast, but Shane is joining us on FaceTime. So, again, there's about 2 wheels left on this podcast. All the wheels are falling off, but Shane is here. So you guys can hear him. Zach says he can hear him, but Shane
He
can't
definitely
get
cannot
back.
hear me.
That's just how it goes.
He definitely cannot hear me.
Shane is here in the podcast now. Shane, we talked about a couple of stuff, but we're going to go into Max Kellerman's comments on ESPN. Did you see those comments?
Yeah, talking about how hockey's not one of the major 4 sports.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into that real quick. We already talked about some bub of getting back into play in the 6-player things released to training camp and stupid articles. So let's dive into Max Kellerman's ESPN hot take. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but in the United States of America, nobody cares about hockey, said ESPN's Max Kellerman while appearing on First Take on Wednesday. The old joke is in every town. I can't read for jack shit. The old town – Jesus Christ.
Want me to read it?
The old joke is every town has 20,000 hockey fans because they all have season tickets. The arenas are always sold out, but the TV ratings don't do anything. So it's not one of the 4 major team sports. Zach, go off.
Max Kellerman, in my opinion, only knows basketball and football.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
ESPN never talks about hockey because they're all obsessed with LeBron James, Steph Curry,
Yeah.
Aaron Judge,
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady. They're all obsessed with them, but they don't actually talk about hockey, which honestly, in my opinion, is probably the best sport to watch because there's constantly something doing. In basketball where they just flop around and just, when they get touched, they claim that's just some sort of injury going on. Baseball slows crap whenever you watch it. Like, personally, it's fun to play baseball, but like when you watch it, it's not as exciting.
Yeah, that's how I felt too, because this guy barely says anything about hockey, let alone it's ESPN. They barely cover hockey, and he comes in like a bull in a china shop saying nobody watches hockey. Who cares? Let's just get back to basketball.
I've watched First Take before. It's the worst show I've ever seen in my life.
I'm not the worst show, but it's pretty biased.
I'm not saying it's like it's a pretty horrible show because all they ever talk about is football and basketball, and it's not that exciting to honestly watch because you're only talking about two sports. Like, you listen to like other podcasts, like Pardon My Take, they talk about every single sport under the sun, or like, I don't know, like any other sports podcast. They talk about everything. They don't just talk about like two sports. And Stephen A. Smith is one of the worst people to ever listen to when it comes to advice because
but he's entertaining as shit.
Yeah, some of the things he says is funny, but like
granted, football season, he's entertaining. I love how he hates the Cowboys. I love that. It's beautiful.
Well, yeah, of course. I hate the Cowboys too, dude. I have so many stories about Cowboys fans. It's like.
Let's start over to Shane. Shane, what do you think about this article, or what initially your thoughts about what you thought about it?
Personally, when Max Kellerman is talking about stuff like that, I think he's kind of feeding off of the energy that like the NBA is coming back. So obviously, when it comes to like First Take, they're going to focus a lot more on that because they know that, admittedly, in the United States, that's probably a little bit more revenue generating for just sports in general. But I think, overall, it's kind of a bold statement to make, that's for sure. But
it is bold, and I think part of the reason why he said it is because he has no knowledge on it, and somebody probably asked him a question about it, and he had to make something up.
Max Kellerman doesn't know how to play sports. So that's why he makes fun of sports.
Do research, but at the end of the day, I think that's just one of those times where you just kind of you have to give an answer, and well, let's just say not everybody's agreeing with it.
Right, and I also thought if we saw the tweet from Claude Drew, beautiful, saying Claude was like, what did he say? I don't want to hurt your feelings, but you're wrong. I forget what he said, but oh no, he was like, calm down, bud. He pulled a Shane on Matt Coffey or whatever the hell his name was. He still hasn't responded, Shane.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. Hopefully one day.
And then this article does continue saying, certainly there are pockets of the U.S. where hockey isn't huge, particularly in southern cities, of course, where there isn't any NFL, MLB, NBA, or NHL sports team representation, and where college sports are treated like the pros. But there is always some national interest in the NCAA around College Bowl and March Madness. Max Kellerman and Hot Take and Stephen A. Smith, they make their most content off of football and college sports. So for them to say stuff about hockey, even like we're just like, okay, you're an idiot. Like, you just embarrass yourself pretty much.
That's honestly the ESPN way. They don't cover hockey. They cover golf. They cover golf. All right.
Oh, Matt Kellerman.
And honestly, I put hockey over pretty much all those sports. Like, granted, it might not be like the most popular in the South, like Mississippi, Louisiana area, but still very.
When you think about like a sport that can be played like wherever or that can be popular wherever, the easiest thing would probably be soccer or basketball because you just need a ball. Maybe basketball you need a hoop. Soccer you just kick things against a wall, so it's a lot easier. No offense to Shane. All right. So we'll wrap up the podcast here. Of course, we want to keep it short. We had Shane in here for a little bit. The last thing we want to dive into, we kind of went into it, again, like we always do, in a little subtopics. The NHL awards, I was thinking this week that right now we're going through a lot. It's like everybody wants to get back, and it's like, all right, like, when are we going to get back? When's the new normal going to happen? We've been frustrated. We just want to see some entertainment. NASCAR's back. Zach's happy about that. But I was thinking about where we would be if none of this happened. And that in itself is an entire different conversation. But right now, we could have had a Stanley Cup champion by now. We could have been in the Stanley Cup. We definitely would have been in the Stanley Cup Finals by now. And we also would have been talking about the NHL awards coming up. We also would have been talking about NHL 21, the video game, and cover athletes. There would have been so much more. And NHL, this is again another separate topic, but NHL 21 can even be delayed.
Yeah, well, I have 3 potential cover guys for NHL 21.
And who would that be?
It's either going to be Pastrnak, Mitch Marner, or Kucherov.
It's not going to be Mitch Marner because they already have a Maple Leaf, but
No. They did Kane Taves back to back.
Yeah,
remember
but I don't
that?
think they would do that in Toronto.
Dude, NHL Network
never
loves
know.
talking about Toronto. They love talking about Toronto.
True.
You never know.
Toronto. But so thinking about where we would be, we were going to talk about a little bit of the NHL awards, but again, we're not going to go into it until it actually happens. Don't want to be talking about it premature. So we're going to talk about stuff that's already been decided for sure, definitely, real quick. We have – scroll down here. I know that we had a tie between Alex Ovechkin and David Pastrnak for the Rocket Richard. That is correct, Zach?
That is correct.
I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe they had
they each had
48 goals each.
48 each, yeah.
So
like
it was the first time in a couple years. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually share an award with people. And I didn't know this like I didn't know it a couple of weeks ago. I looked it up because they said it 2 players won at the same time.
Crosby
And
and Stamkos.
The same thing happened one year where I think 3 players won it at one time.
They probably have, because I remember recently it was Stamkos and Crosby won it.
Right. I think Alex Ovechkin, hell of a player, won a cup, definitely deserves it. It's his 9th Rocket Richard, and for David Pastrnak, congrats to him. It's his first Rocket Richard. One of many, and we did share this on our Instagram. Actually, I can pull that up real quick so we have some stats to have some content in here real quick. For the 3rd time in NHL history, so it's only happened 3 times, Rocket Richard will be awarded to multiple players. Both Alex Ovechkin and David Pastrnak scored 48 goals during the 2019-20 season before the league's pause. So there you go. Rocket Richard co-winners. But there was ties multiple times before, 3 times before. In the 03-04 season, there was a 3-way tie. That's what I talked about. The 3-way tie was between Jarome Iginla, Ilya Kovalchuk, remember him, and Rick Nash. The second time, it was between Crosby and Stamkos in 2009-2010. They both scored 51 goals. Amazing. But Rick Nash is the youngest player to have won the trophy, being 19 years old upon receiving it. And, of course, the other trophy or the award that was determined by the end and the conclusion of the season was the 2020 Art Rose Trophy winner. For the first time in his career, Leon Draisaitl wins it with 110 points. That's insane. But this is again not trying to be biased here, but Claude had what, 108 one season?
Yeah, 102.
102.
He finished second behind
108.
McDavid, yeah. And
Drew was so close to winning it, but 110 points. That's a lot. Was there any other awards given?
I think those are the only 2 that are given so far. Wait,
the only 2 that were 100% given.
Wait, was it Jennings? Wasn't Jennings given out? The William Jennings for best goalies?
Isn't it the Vezina?
No. Best goalie duo with I think it was best goals against, best save percentage between 2 goalies. I think the Bruins goalies won it. Rask and
God damn it! I accidentally clicked on this Thoughts freaking Instagram live video. Most recent. Okay.
Yeah,
so...
Halak and Rask.
Okay, so there was also the William M. Jennings Trophy, which is an annual NHL award given to the goaltenders having played a minimum of 25 games for a team with the fewest goals scored against based on regular season play. I'm a hockey fan. I'm a huge hockey fan, but I almost never heard of this trophy. Tuukka Rask, won it with Yaroslav Halak, which is a surprise because Halak is trash in my opinion.
No, he's pretty good.
But I think he's trash in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's not a caliber NHL starter.
He was.
But
He was
obviously
Montreal
he's got to
St.
be
Louis.
good if he won this trophy. My personal taste is I just don't like him.
He's underrated.
Yeah, I will say him and Robin Leonard are underrated. But that's the William Jennings, and those were the only 3 trophies, as far as I know, or awards that were given so far.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like once like the NHL awards starts coming, like, you know, starts getting closer and we have actually finalists for each trophy, we can talk about each.
Yeah, a lot. We would have more content, and boys, we're spinning tires. We got 2 tires left. We got 3 people in the pod right now. I'm going to start trying to speak in a freaking Boston accent and embarrass myself, but it is what it is, and we're not giving up, boys. We're not giving up for the hell of it. There's not a lot to talk about, but this is what we were trying to do, to bring you guys entertainment for anybody who views this, for the 2 people, the 10 people, the 20 people, the 69 people who watch this.
Nice.
We're giving you content, and we're trying to do stuff. And Zach and I are going to be ending summer school pretty soon. So once July comes, we'll have full time working on this and what we do. And if the NHL does come back, which hopefully it does, we will have so much more. We have so much more ideas. Right now, it's the tires are spinning and there's not a lot of tires. But once games come back, if they do, we'll have live reactions. We'll be recording ourselves watching certain overtimes, and we'll be featuring them in the podcast and our reactions, and it'll be amazing. And I also want to point this out there for the podcast coming up in late August. Definitely for Zach and I, we're going to be trying to attempt to go to Nashville. We have other friends. Shane hasn't made up his mind. We'll talk to Shane a little bit later on that. But when and if we do go to Nashville, we will definitely have a podcast that we release while we're out there. If we get a phenomenal Airbnb with a view, we'll freaking have a fire. We'll freaking light a freaking joint up. We'll freaking
No, we do not condone smoking marijuana. We do not smoke marijuana.
I was trying to get clickbait. We're not going to smoke marijuana. I would never. I promise.
We're
gonna
not
relax.
drug
We're going to have a
guys.
good time. We're going to share some views. That'll be maybe the best podcast. But for now, we're going to leave it here. We talked about a few things. We hope you guys are enjoying the quarantine if you can, and what's left of it, and staying safe and staying healthy. And until next time, the boys will sign out. Shane, anything you want to say? So Shane, real quick, had a legendary day at Wawa, which is a convenience store, and he's super tired, so he's like spacing right now. He's tired. He's barely in this, but I want to thank him and give him my own goosebumps for freaking being here, because he looks like tired as shit. Shane needs a haircut. Shane, say goodbye to the pod.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Take it easy.
And Zach,
Bye-bye.
say goodbye.
Goodbye. Stay safe. Make wise choices.
He hung up so quick. Make wise choices, guys. Thanks for watching this absolute trash on wheels. We're still going, boys. There's going to be a lot of editing with this, but thanks for watching, boys. We completely forgot the trivia questions. There's not even a trivia question. The trivia question
yes, there is.
Did you stay safe? That's the trivia question.
Okay, I was going to
What's your
suggest
trivia
one.
question? What is it?
What are my 2 middle names? I'll give you a hint.
What are Zach's 2 middle names? The hint is it sounds like a president.
No, it does not. Well, it kind of does, but no. Think about a recent movie that came out in the last 20 years. Twins in a recent movie came out in the last 20 years. And no, I was not named after these twins. It was just miraculously my two middle names appeared on my birth certificate.
I'm going to have to look that up. I don't know what movie you're referring to. Or what
I do.
Well, of course you do. You made the question, dumbass. All right. That's the podcast. Thank you, guys. All the support. Epi 4. That's it. Thank you, guys, for tuning in.